I wanted to start today with a quote a friend of mine posted on Facebook. So I told him I'd give him credit. So, Chris, if you're watching, kudos to you. But the quote was talking about a Spanish philosopher named Seneca. And he said this. He observed that every generation tends towards thinking that they are in increasingly worsening conditions. Sound like you? He knew that this was not a new way of thinking and said that it is not our generation only that is beset by this fault. So every generation thinks this way. It says the complaint our ancestors make, the complaint that we make, the complaint our posterity will make is that morality is overturned, wickedness holds sway, and that human affairs and every sin are tending toward the worse. I know I've been trapped in that kind of thinking before. Perhaps you have as well. And we just finished a very depressing, morally corrupt book of Judges, the Message series, this Sunday. And this theme came across as we were concluding it. And it was really kind of a discouraging book, to be honest. And we ran across this theme that how bad things are, and they only seem to be getting worse. So what I quickly quoted on Sunday and said I would refer to again today was this verse from the Hebrew, I guess philosopher, but Hebrew King Solomon. He said, there is nothing new under the sun. Kind of the same thing that Seneca is saying. He said, you may think it's getting worse, but it's not really. But I wanted to read the fuller version that he writes. This is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1. This is a New Living Translation. Solomon writes, generations come and generations go, but the earth never changes. The sun rises and the sun sets, then hurries around to rise again. The wind blows south and then turns north. Around and around it goes, blowing in circles. Rivers run into the sea, but the sea is never full. Then the water returns again to the rivers and flows out again to the sea. Everything is wearisome beyond description. No matter how much we see, we are never satisfied. No matter how much we hear, we are not content. And he continues on. This is the part I want you to hear. Verse 9 of Ecclesiastes chapter 1. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Sometimes people say, here's something new, but actually it is old. Nothing is ever truly new. We don't remember what happened in the past, and in future generations, no one will remember what we are doing now. That sounds really a lot like what Seneca said, but Solomon said it first. So Solomon said what Seneca said before he said it. So what am I saying? I'm saying you shouldn't fall prey to this idea that things are worse now than they've ever been or ever will be. That may seem true to you and I in our limited life experience, but we've not lived all of human history. Things have been bad before, and they'll be bad again. So next time I do a video, I'm going to tell you what's actually happening and why that kind of thinking is dangerous. And that verse that I read to you is from early on in Ecclesiastes. But if you read the rest of Ecclesiastes, and this is kind of to summarize today, it sounds like this quote from a Roman philosopher. So you're getting two philosophers today in Scripture. And this philosopher, I don't know how to say his name, Juvenal maybe. But he said this, don't be unhappy because you feel you live in bad times. Live simply, cultivate your garden, desire only so much as hunger and thirst, cold and heat demand. Learn pity, be kind to children, and keep a sane mind in a healthy body. And that actually, as I read that, I thought that sounds like the prophet Jeremiah. Read chapter 29 of Jeremiah, and that's what he says. But I didn't finish that Seneca quote. Here's the rest of it, and it sounds just so much like Solomon. Here's what he said. Yet these things remain and will continue to remain in the same position with only a slight movement now in this direction, now in that, like that of the waves, which a rising tide carries far inland and a receding tide restrains within the limits of the shoreline. See, my goal is to have you not know whether I'm reading ancient philosophy or whether I'm reading scripture. And I think I've done a very good job today. So the next time I should have a game called is this Seneca or Juvenal or Solomon. So anyway, so as I said, I'm going to explore this topic a little more in upcoming videos. So until then, don't believe the idea that things are only getting worse. Don't be trapped by that kind of thinking. It's depressing, it's discouraging, and it's more dangerous than you think. So until next time, have a great day, go spread some joy, and God bless.